this fell out. I hate it when that happens.
There's no faster van than a higher van.
Fun. What are you talking about? This is my best angle.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Artisan Electrics, where me and RUBICON are back on the road and we're heading out to another job. So there's 2 consumer units we've got to do today in one day, and just a couple of little this and that jobs around this house. So it should be quite a busy day, rinse and repeat, but good experience for Reuben. It'll be a good opportunity to show him a little bit more about what goes on inside of consumer units. Reuben, your camera work is shocking.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, hold this thing straight. Dear me. You're letting the whole channel down at the minute. 100,000 people that are staring at the ceiling of our rental van. Yes, we are in a hire van as well. In case you haven't worked out, well, I doubt you have actually, because on the inside it's exactly the same. But we're in a hired van, so we've got barely any of our tools. So we're down to just the essentials, because our van's still in the garage with issues. They've finally agreed to replace the battery. It's a problem with the battery, and it was a problem with the alternator, so they've sorted both of those things now. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. A little shout out as well to our sponsor Tradeify, who have kindly sponsored today's video. Amazing platform, and also really cool guys out in Australia. So has anything bad ever come from Australia? I don't think so. They do everything from quoting to invoice to dealing with the customer. So yeah, pretty great software. And if you would like, you can follow the link in the description below, and that will get you 50% off of your first 3 months. So that was a bit of an aggressive speed bump. There's no faster van than a higher van. Yeah, so if you want 3 months of 50% off, go use our link in the description below. I'll cut now to the bit where we show you around the job. Take care. So this is the consumer unit here. So as you can see, we've got solar installed wonderfully. You've got your generation meter and your isolator, and you've got the actual consumer unit here. And no, that is not your eyes deceiving you. It is on the source. I don't know, maybe it was a long weekend for the poor old Sparky installing it. But yeah, so we're going to get that replaced, and then a couple of bits in the garage, which I'll show you now. So we're in the garage now. If any of you are regular viewers, you might recognise this. I installed this board before as part of an EICR, but there was no circuits in it. This has all been added in by the customer, so the customer's actually done this himself in the time since we've been here, and I've got to say, I'm very impressed at how thorough it is. I think there could be a career waiting for him at Artisan if Jordan fancies it. He's just done this very temporarily, strung up some temporary power off of the old feed to the garage, just to get some lights in here, but we're going to disconnect that when the power's off. Everything's labelled, look at it, and put it into the proper one. I just need to wire the consumer unit in, but I need to drop that cable into the consumer unit the other side. I've got a little commando socket there, a little 16 amp commando for the welder. He's done all of this here. Got, again, all labelled up. Look at that. He's done all white for lighting and black for power. Got LED tape under here, which has been really nicely soldered. Pretty cool stuff. So I'm going to go connect up the other side. We've got the solar and stuff as well, which I'll show you. We'll get this disconnected, all of that, and the cable stripped out. We'll wire this board in, and we'll get replacing the other consumer unit. Right, I'll just quickly show you up here. Again, any of you eagle-eyed viewers recognise it. This is from where I did the EICR last time. Extremely tight space. So there's all the solar kit. Got the inverters there. All these little MC4 plugs. I think we've already checked all of this. It was all tight and good. But I'm going to get this switched off now, because I'm going to be changing the consumer unit, so I don't fancy getting a zap. Switch all these off. Just going to turn the strings off and the AC, because I don't think you can really be too safe. There we go. So that is the solar isolated. I'm going to go downstairs and make a start on the consumer unit. So we've got all the CT clamps for the solar. Interestingly enough, they've put it on the neutral rather than on the live, which I find interesting. I'm just going to take a picture of that. So I put it back exactly as it was. So that one was facing up the neutral, and this one is facing down that neutral. Oh, interesting. Right then, let's get this isolated. So we'll get that switched off. Get all of these off. And then what we'll do is we'll prove dead. Grab my tool pouch, please. This is interesting, this. It's like a little copper wrap. Not something I'd particularly like the idea of putting inside a board so close to live terminals. But you've got a grid sensor
going on the neutral here, a PV sensor going on to the PV neutral, and you've got this one here which is like a cable wrap, and I wonder if that's, you know, that's detecting imbalances or whatever and calculating things off of that. But yeah, so it's quite interesting because I've not actually seen that before. But then, as you know, I'm relatively new to the domestic solar market, so maybe that's something that you guys come across more. Anyway, I'll carry on stripping out.
I had to ask the customer because I thought, wow, this is actually pretty neat, considering the rest of the install. The way they've done it, I thought the way they've clipped these MC4 plugs in is actually really quite neat. And I said to him, I said, did you do this yourself? And he said, yes, I did. So, unfortunately, I can't even give him credit for that. But yeah, it's just a bit of a rough install, as always.
So that's it, all stripped out, as you can see. So the cables are all coming in through that hole at the back there. I'm going to try and reuse these tails if I can, because I think it's going to be an absolute swine to pull new ones up, looking at how tight they are. But we'll see. I'm going to get this board cover off and see if I get any wiggle in them and see if they're long. If they're long enough, they are the right size, so I'm happy to reuse them. It's just I'm not sure if they'll be long enough. I think I'm going to rejig all of this as well, try and get this cable, as you can see, a little bit of single insulated cable there, but they've stripped the twin and earth back too far. I'm going to see if I can get that to come into the top of the consumer unit, or even if I have to remove that and re-pop it down. And I'm going for an inside doorbell transformer rather than external. I'm just going to wire it straight in and put a DIN rail mounted one. So we've got quite a nice big board, we've got a Hager 18 way, so there's plenty of spare space to be doing stuff like that. Cool, we'll get cracking, getting the board off the wall.
Alright, so I've got the Cable Tongue Pro. Let's see if that works for this. Let's just open it all a bit more. In case you haven't all figured out by now, I am the screwdriver murderer. And you can hate me as I like, but at least when I say that they're tough, good screwdrivers, you know I'm not being a ninny with them. Yeah, so that's in the loft cavity now. What we'll do, I'm going to go and attach this cable sock to the other end. Well, I say I'm going to, the customer's just volunteered. Customer is a viewer, volunteered to go the other end and attach this on, and then we'll pull some of the cables back. Reuben versus the cable sock, round one. Ding, 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 ding. Can he get it off?
Oh dear. Is it just...
Ah, he remembered, he figured it out. It's very fun to watch people go, oh,
I realised
oh, no.
as you were putting it on, as you were pushing it, it got looser. So just,
he's too clever. He's too dang clever, this boy.
Did you see that angle with your eyes?
What are you talking about? This is my best angle. Imagine this on a 4K TV right up my nostrils. Should we get cinematic? So our customer is just above at the minute. Absolutely lovely customer. Okie dokie. This is so the wrong way around. How's the customer in the loft and I'm down here? Love it. Is that good? You might just have to feed it a little bit. Leonardo da Vinci. You know, Leonardo DiCaprio, the one who sculpted all these sculptures.
Oh yeah.
Not to be confused with Da Vinci, the one who was on the Titanic. I think it's just getting caught on the edge of the capping. It might be easier, to be honest, to get rid of the sock and just push it straight through. It's such a short run. Oh, promising, promising. Oh yeah, there we go, that'll do. Oh, nice. What do we say to that one, Reuben?
Bingo, bongo, bango.
It takes two to tango. Nice one, mate. Okay, so it's extremely tight space to be videoing in. It's like a really narrow corridor, and there's things that I can't get on the camera because obviously it's not my house. But as you can see, we've got all the cables down and in, ready to go. Just planning now. I don't think you can get the armoured cable down that hole, but might be able to make it pretty seamless. I think I'm going to go for that middle knockout there. Let's quickly do that. So we've got the middle knockout there. Now I'm not really too worried about glanding it this side if it's going to be too difficult, because I have glanded it and earthed it the other side. So I'm quite happy just to heat shrink the armour in this side if I have to. Maybe if I just knock one of these top knockouts, I mean I could even try and incorporate it into that hole there. To tell you what we'll do, and organise all of this properly in a bit. We always get faffy board changes, don't we? Actually, to be fair, the last one was pretty easy. This isn't exactly hard, it's just a bit faffy. Yeah, I think our options are fairly limited with that. I think we have two options. We can either knock out another knockout, drill into the cavity and go up, or we can just open out a little bit of this and pop it down. I think I'm kind of rather do that, or maybe even bring it through this hole. Okay, so we're going to drill out these two knockouts here, because these Hager knockouts are a right pain. And I say this not just Hager, but in all boards. I'm not a big fan of being given knockouts. I prefer to choose my own. But if we use a normal hole saw, it's just going to poke them through, and you're going to end up with that big square one, whereas actually I want to gland into that. So what we're going to use is a centre punch. This is an automatic one. I'm still in my hire van, which is really annoying. So it means I don't have my full toolkit. The customer has kindly lent this to me. So what we'll do, we'll mark it up. Just do a couple of hits on that. So we've got a starting point there for our drill. Do the same on this one, same for the centre. Funny when you're doing something so precise and you say about. We'll start with a nice small drill bit. You can see there's cutting oil still on this from the last time I used it. Okay, so now we've got a 10mm hole. We're going to use this punch here. Just come around to make sure you can see what I'm seeing. The only one of these I've used before. It's made by Greenlee, which is an American company or Canadian company, and it's called the Greenlee Slugbuster. And it's brilliant if you're working in live panels and things, especially, and you don't want to lose the starret. It's a lot easier to control the swarf from a drill bit than a big starret popping into a live section board or something. With these, for any size, you only have to drill a 10mm bit usually. I think the much larger sizes might go up to the M12 bolt, but say you want a 50mm knockout, perfect, little 10mm hole. And this sharp end here just leverages on until it pops through. So I'll show you what that looks like. So we'll poke that on the top. Perfect. Just really don't want it to knock out. There we go, lovely stuff. Then we can just... The worst thing is when you lend these out to someone and they end up with like 20 slugs in them where they've not cleared it out, because you can kind of use it time and time again and it will just fill up this little pocket. But because it captures that starret, it just makes it a lot safer and way cleaner hole. Like when you look at that, there's just no sharp edges on it at all because it's been compressed. So, two nice clean holes, and these knockouts haven't been disturbed. You can see the paint is still intact. They're still nice and together. The only way round that I can think of, obviously it's a little bit more work than just banging a hole saw through there, but just a bit more refined. That is our tool of the day today, a little hole punch. I'll stick the link in that in the description below. Okay, just to give you a quick update, we've just had a little bite to eat. So we've got this mounted back on again, the solar isolator, the rotary isolator. Just need to wire it in. Got all the cables into the board. We've got the two armoured cables coming down. So we've got the armoured cable for the garage and the armoured cable for the EV charger is not in yet, but it would be better to get all the knockouts and things done now, so that when we do get the cable in, we can literally just unscrew the ground, pop the cable in and not have too much drama, not having to worry too much. And I've just cut the paint off there because it was all peeling out, and I thought I wanted to stop it just completely peeling off if it gets at all damp. So that can be easily repaired now, but this is all tightened up and ready to go. So now I can work my way through the easy bit, just slowly terminating this board. The super easy bit, I find actually getting it mounted, cut, drilled, tapped, and all the rest of it to be the real faff, but actually wiring it is really pretty easy, second nature. So I'll set up a little time lapse for you. Fit an isolator while we've got the power off. This fell out. I hate it when that happens. So I'm going to fit one of these just because I think it's good to do while we've got the power off. That will go in there. So
let's relocate Mr. Spider. Oh man, he's a fast one. Come on mate, try and help you. Okay, he's gone. So first of all, we've already proven dead. Gonna nip these out. But just to make life a touch easier, I'm going to terminate it with it not fixed. Grab some screws out the van. So just measure them off. Oops. What's most annoying about this is that this should already be done. This should have been done by the D&O. Like, it's ridiculous that we have to do it.
I agree.
In order to work safely. Like, this is a fairly new meter and a fairly new, what was safe isolation not a thing when this main head was installed? It's really silly. That is the main switch installed. So now any future Sparkies working on this, it's going to be significantly easier for them to work safe. So they can just lock that off there rather than have to hope that the fuse falls out on its own. Which sometimes, you know, you can't be waiting for coincidences to happen. So that will just clip onto there, like so. Get in contact with the local network and encourage them to come and reseal. You can buy these seals off of eBay, but seeing as theirs have mysteriously fallen off under suspicious circumstances, I would encourage them to come and reseal them and check they're happy with everything. So, nice and safe. Okay, so we're finished. I've got the main switch now on in there. Consume unit is all swapped. Cello is being played, bit of West Side Story. I want to be on the road going home. That is going to be sitting on the shelf just there. So this is all labelled up, more than one supply, Artisan sticker, PV main isolator sticker. It's significantly neater, isn't it? And it's a bit more future-proof. So Reuben is just hoovering and tidying up. While he's doing that, I'll show you the rest of the job. This is all buttoned up now. That is all second fixed and lovely. As you can see, another job for the hole punch. So really, that concludes it. I think what I'll probably do is finish it up properly when we're in the van on the way home. See you in a bit, guys. We're back in the Postman Pat angle, my favourite angle of them all, as you well know. And that can mean only one thing. It can mean that I'm here to summarise the job, or summarise the job. I don't know why, but it just seemed to eat up time. I'm slowing down a lot to show Reuben things and talk him through things. It's an investment of time, isn't it? So, yeah, whilst some jobs, they can speed you up so much, especially when they're good. Like Reuben is an absolute gem. As far as they go, he's an absolute gem. So I really cannot complain. But some jobs like today where it's more technical, there's nothing much really he can do to speed me up. Overall, I think the job went well. And as always, I've loved having Reuben with me, and it's always really nice working for viewers. We love working for you guys. It's really nice, especially because you already kind of know us. I hope you've enjoyed it. Any questions, as always, feel free to argue it out in the comments below. If you've got any questions or whatever, we're always more than happy to help. Just go check Artisan Electrics on Instagram, or Cory_Artisan Electrics on Instagram, and me or Jordan will always be happy to pick up any questions and that you have there if we see them. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.